What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Shay McCray Show. And today I have the honor of sitting next to a music artist, certified coach, minister, Trumpet Award honoree, two-time Honorary Doctorate recipient, Stella. Look, this is your introduction, all right? Stella winning award, ready for radio host and songwriter, and also known as the son of the late Pastor Eddie Long Sr., Mr. Eddie Long Jr. How you doing?
I'm all right. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. First, I want to send my condolences to you in regards to your father. I know that was a very public situation and probably draining on the family from start to finish, with everything happened so suddenly. It hit the world too, we was like, what? It was just, it just came out of nowhere. So, so first I want to, send that to you. Thank you. That means a lot. Now, did you guys know he was sick prior before we knew, or because we knew and it was just that was it? I'm assuming you guys didn't know.
Well, naturally, being family and relatives and all of that, we're privy to information contrary to whatever the world may believe.
Yeah. Why did you keep it so private? Why did he want to keep it so private?
My father has transitioned.
Yeah.
And that would really be a question for him.
For him, okay.
And just as he asks us to respect his wishes then,
absolutely.
As a good son, I just move forward.
I know that's right.
And respect his wishes indefinitely.
Yes,
if you
absolutely.
Will.
Absolutely.
But we celebrate my dad.
Yeah.
We celebrate his impact.
Yeah.
We celebrate his life.
Yes.
We celebrate all who were impacted by him.
Absolutely.
There are so many.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Who lives were changed.
Yeah.
For what
and they
was
were
in
hurt
him.
when it happened because
Absolutely.
it was like, what happened? Out of nowhere. So I can only imagine. Yeah. So now, did you acquire the church after his passing, or?
No, I'm not pastoring the church.
Okay.
And I would never want to acquire a church, if you will.
I got you.
I truly not just believe, but know that the church is supposed to be the Lord's church.
Absolutely.
And I share this with people often.
Yeah.
People ask me all the time, when you going to start your church? When you going to start your church?
Yeah.
That's something I feel is a issue or something to really look at concerning pastors.
Yes.
For if a church is your church, then how can it be Christ's church?
Yes.
There can only be one head of the church.
Yeah.
So I'm not pastoring that church, but I move forward.
Yes.
And I'm in a space where I'm just coming into my own.
Okay.
And the exciting thing about that is one of my close mentors, you may be familiar with Les Brown.
Yeah, of course.
And a few others who have been so instrumental in my development over the past few years. There are so many people who face things. You can probably attest to this. As you were telling me, about your transition from Brooklyn, Atlanta, and where you are even now.
Yep.
I don't know, somebody might be after you.
Somebody might be after me. Yeah, don't tell them.
But in that, you're really on a journey of coming into Shay McCray. Coming into your own, beyond your mother, your father, your familial history. As you're standing on the shoulders of your ancestors, on the shoulders of giants, God has still set something up for you to come into your own. And so I'm on a journey and coming into my own and aiding others in writing the next chapter of their life.
Yeah, but I know it's just when you carry the name so powerful, it's still a lot. It's extra. Not only is your legacy that you still have another legacy that's carried over to you because of you carrying the name.
And you learn how to allow those rivers to flow together. You know, none of us have arrived by ourselves. As I mentioned, we're standing on our ancestors' shoulders. Yeshua, some may know him as Jesus, said this. He said that we will reap what we didn't sow. And so again, I celebrate my father because he sowed so many wonderful seeds that I'm able, my siblings and I are able to reap as we move forward in life. And so there's a duality of it. It's a beautiful dance. Come on, I'm from the A. We bankhead bouncers. So we gonna bounce this thing out.
Music thing in a sec. Okay. That's amazing. I'm so happy that you look at it like that, and I you have to, in order to keep going, so you can't stop. You gotta continue that legacy. So I remember one time I told myself, I was like, you are when I said you know, unfortunately, your leader, he was like, who said I wanted to be one? I said, I understand, son, and sometimes it's just our calling. You know, you can't, like, it's just what it is. People just look up to you, and you have to just set the way, like, pave the way for them. You know, I'm sorry you are a leader. I'm sorry. I don't know what you want me to say, but you're the chosen one. It is what it is, you know.
I'll take
it. So you're the chosen one.
I'll take it.
All right. So you were talking about backhand bouncing and all that. So you are an Atlanta native, right?
Absolutely.
Born and raised. But you have an extensive music career behind you. Like, I mean, I know someone that know you, and they was telling me, oh yeah, he used to have a studio in his house, and we used to record there all the time. So you do a lot of music, gospel music, right? A lot of
the music that yes, it is gospel music.
Yes.
In the understanding that gospel is the good news.
Yes.
And so, you know, when I was in college, if you will, you know, you go off to school, you sow your wild oats and all of that. Take a wild guess.
Morehouse.
Oh, no.
Clark, where you go?
See, I had to go far enough away that I could come into my own. But be close enough that I could get back home for a good meal. You feel
so
me?
You in Alabama.
So I went to the best HBCU, Florida A&M University. I'm a rattler. You feel me? Well, we just keep striking.
Okay.
And so while being in Tallahassee, if you will, it allowed me the time to make mistakes. The time to explore some things and bump my head. And so I was wilding with the music for a season. But then I tapped into, you know what? There's an area that has a need, and I can't find anything that fills that void. I think that that's business, if you will, in that businessmen who are successful find a space that has a need and decide to become the solution to that need.
Absolutely.
So concerning music, here it is. I'm one that at that time, you know, it was all about the dirty South. You feel me? We were on the heels of Organized Noise and that whole movement as we were sliding into trap music. And so being one that loves trap music but also loves the Lord, I couldn't find something that was positive but still had that tick, tick, and that boom. And so my cousin and I, Coleon, we began to craft what it was that we were looking for. We developed the syndicated radio show. As well as the sound.
Because you won an award, the Stellar Award for the radio, as being a radio host,
right? I won a Stellar Award recently.
Yeah.
But my syndicated show put me on the pathway to receive the Stellar Award with Praise 102.5. Most recently, I was on Praise 102.5 Monday through Friday.
What happened to that?
The pandemic.
I
said that wrong. The pandemic.
All right.
So in all of that, gospel music is the story of the good news. And it should allow anyone, no matter what you're dealing with in life, to find strength, inspiration, encouragement, to apply those things to the move that you're about to make. And so my music would be gospel in that sense. That is, it's not traditional gospel. I more so call it urban inspiration.
Urban inspiration. I love it.
Reaching those who are in that type of environment and inspire them to get through whatever it is they're facing.
Because I'm telling you, like, I wake up in the morning, I'm not gonna lie, the first thing I listen to is gospel music. Because I be needing that push, you know, like, you know, like, it's just, it does something for me. Like, I can sing it knowing that, you know, I'm about to go out on this day, I'm protected, I done sung about the Lord, you know, I got it going.
You got the vertical straight.
I got that strength, you know, because we all need balance, you know. I tell them, you know, the Lord's still working on me, but I'm working on that balance now. Now, you talked about the urban inspiration, and you also are a certified coach right now. So you do relationship, you mentor children, the youth, young adults, couples, and so forth. So as a coach, what inspired you to focus on mentoring to them?
Well, dynamic question. The youth component, I spent over 10 years as a youth pastor. So I just been in that space. You know, that's innate. As I mentioned before, it's important, when we were talking offline, about utilizing all that you've been through in life. Because truly that is your fuel for where you're going, not just for selfish reasons, but to be able to be an aid to others. So I was going through a divorce.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't know that, you know, I'm in my second marriage.
You're in your second, yeah, okay, because you recently had a son.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, all right, okay.
And so going through a divorce, you would think, all right, here's a minister who's going through a divorce.
I've been through a divorce, so I get it. Go ahead.
Come on, you
Go
understand.
Ahead. Go ahead, I'm listening.
and people assume whatever they want to assume, all right? And usually they assume the worst.
Always.
And so you learn a lot about folks in your life at that time and their judgment. You weather that storm because the truth will always come out. Within that, one would think, hey, here's someone who's going through a divorce, so they don't really have anything to tell me. People would run from you or run away from it. But in my case, what happened was when people began hearing that I was going through a divorce, Shay, I kid you not, in a matter of 1 month, I had about 3 couples reach out to me and say, hey, we heard you were going through a divorce and we're wondering if you will sit with us and help us in our situation. What? That math ain't mathing. That equation makes no sense.
Because they want to know how not to get there, you know?
Listen, some sort of way the Holy Spirit revealed that and spoke that to me. And so after I sat with these couples and they were able to work out their indifferences and move forward, I sat back and I scratched my head and I said, you know what? My process right now is producing purpose for where I'm headed. And so I took it serious. I got with my coach, Dr. Rodney Jackson over at Beulah Heights University. We went through his whole curriculum and he certified me as a relationship coach. Now watch this. Since then, I have officiated over 30 weddings.
Oh, wow.
Yes, over 30 weddings, walking with couples and working with them since 2016. So that really was a transitional and pivotal moment in my life to set me up for where I am now.
Listen, I would want the advice from someone who's been there, done it, and doing it again versus someone who's never, that can't even relate. You know, a lot of people, like, they have something to say about Steve Harvey, you know, being on his third marriage and him writing the books and so forth and what, you know, what he felt like he did wrong in the past and to where he's at now. And it's like, what's wrong with him giving advice on when you want somebody that did it wrong 3 times? Why not? You know, it makes more sense.
At least he can tell you what not to do.
He can tell you what not to do, you know? So I'm here for it. Listen, I love it. Tell me, help me, you know what I'm saying? Help me to transition, because that's a transition too, you know, being a husband, a wife, a man, you know, commitment, a father, you know, all those things. So
there's some hats.
Yeah, so, okay. So, so can you share a memorable experience or success story from working with these individuals or couples, you know, and help inspire them to, you know, or mentoring them?
What comes to mind? Let me put this, maybe collect them all together. All right, make a collective statement. Everybody's way forward is different.
Yep.
What I'm most inspired by after sitting and speaking and working with the couple is people are able to hear their true self and make a decision. It may be a tough decision. It may be an easy decision. As a relationship coach, it's my job that we come together and formulate a play.
Of course.
All right? As a coach, I can't run the play for you. So when we formulate the play, we are agreeing that this is the best thing to do, but I can't do it for anyone. You have to still make that decision and do it for yourself. And so the champion moment for me is watching someone find that strength to say, okay, coach, I'm gonna run the play, and then they run it well. And they run it well.
So what do you find in doing all this, what do you find is the biggest problem in a marriage, or trying to, the biggest struggle in trying to keep a marriage alive?
The biggest struggle in trying to keep a marriage alive, what I see is truth.
Really?
Yeah, it's a core thing. I had a friend of mine, you were in Atlanta around the time, he transitioned about 2 years ago, one of my best friends. He was a club promoter, all right? And when I say club promoter, he was promoting at the strip club. He was Shenard Johnson.
Shenard, yes, okay.
So growing up, Shenard was Nasty Nod, and I was Young Dirty Bishop.
Oh, really?
All right.
Okay.
And so I'm just giving you our friendship,
okay.
if you will. In all of that, you can get nuggets from anybody.
Yeah.
And Shenard gave me some of the best advice when I was going through a divorce. While he had a 13-year marriage prior to his transition.
Yep.
And he said to me, he said, dog, to thyself first be true. I'm gonna say that again. To thyself first be true. It's the first order of business. Yep. Because if we're not truthful with ourselves, then we're lying to our spouse. Yep. We're lying to our community. Not intentionally, but that's where we are. Yeah. And so one day we may wake up and, this ain't the truth. Yeah. I'm living a lie. Living a lie. And now other things start spiraling. Yeah, it's a domino effect. It's a domino. You stop communicating with your spouse. Yeah. Because resentment settles in, anger settles in. All of these facets of grief. Yeah. You come to a place of living a grieving life. Yeah. Because one was not true to themselves. And so I challenge everyone, once we come into our truth, now we have a point to work from. No, pull that mask off. When everybody walk up with the mask. You know how I go. It's like, take it off. Let me see the true you. COVID is over. Well, I don't know about that. We might be back, huh? Now, like you said, offline, we had some conversation. You said, what you said? No, you said that on air, the pandemic. Now, I want you to elaborate a little bit more on that, because what is your take on COVID? Well, my take is that we'll never know the truth. We live in such a fast-paced. Did you catch COVID? I had COVID 2 or 3 times. 2 or 3 times. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I don't think that COVID is natural. Okay. I know COVID is not natural. Okay. We're in an age now where you have multiple forms of weapons. The mouth can be a weapon. Of course, a rifle, a .38 or something is a weapon. But biology can be used as a weapon. Of course. And so there are many things that are taking place. And there are winners and losers, if you will, in what's transpiring. We'll wreck our brain to try to figure out what's going on, the truth of what's going on. What we must do is decide, hey, how will I be prepared for what is taking place? It's not the world that you and I grew up in. It's a totally different world. And so we must focus on the things that God has already told us to focus on. Our health, that's spiritually, that's mentally, that's physically, our diet. I had COVID, caught COVID, went through it. The first time, day 1 was pretty rough. Day 2, I was back to myself. I attribute much of that to faith. It starts in the mind, and the mind releases the body to do what the body is supposed to do. And I said, well, this thing is not going to take me out. Of course. This is not my end. There's too much, Lord, that you have for me to do in life that this won't take me out. I gave my body permission to do what it needed to do. Prior to receiving COVID, I gave my body permission to do what it's supposed to do by living and eating according to my blood type, according to the way that my temple best works. So I didn't go into the pandemic with any pre-existing health challenges. It doesn't make us, immortal, if you will, but it positions us for success. How about vaccination? The vaccine is a very interesting thing. And what I share with people is, if you're going to take the vaccine, do it in faith. If you're not going to take it, live in faith and do whatever is necessary to sustain that faith. Many people were peer pressured to do something. You feel me? And doing it because of what someone else said. And really being on the fence while you're doing it. The Word of God says this, that without faith, it is impossible to please God. It's impossible to please God. So if we don't have faith, then we're just beating the air. We're just doing something. Now, I will say this. I have not met one person that did not take the vaccine that regrets not taking it.
Okay. All right, we're gonna leave it with that.
All
right. Okay. Before we sat down, we started rolling. I asked you, how did you find out about me? And you told me it was through a good friend, right? There was, I guess you saw the interview I did with Stevie Baggs, and the question that I asked them about Trump or Biden. And I guess I'm assuming the conversation intrigued you. Did you read some of the comments?
I browsed through a few of them, and it was interesting.
The internet is pretty brutal, right?
Listen, the internet is undefeated.
Like, what the? Like, how y'all mad at somebody because he just answered the question? I mean, they would call him all type of dummies and like jock, dummy. I mean, it was just crazy. What is your take on his answer?
You know, I respect his answer. Because it's his answer.
Yep.
It may not be your answer. It may not be you all's answer. That's that man's answer. Just like it's his esteem and everything else. Jay-Z, a great poet, Grammy Award winning poet.
Oh, being from Atlanta,
come on.
You a Jay-Z?
Come on.
Right.
I know who you rocking with.
Oh, you know who I'm rocking with, but go ahead. I just want to throw that
I'm up in them Brooklyn streets. I got you. But he's once made a statement that what you eat, I see the green room over there and it looks like some good fruit and pastries and all that. I'm gonna get some, before we step out of there.
Yeah, the fruit I requested. I gotta eat fruit.
You got it.
Yeah.
I love to hear. But what you eat doesn't make me poop.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that either some people don't know and others have forgotten. Whatever you ingest, however it is to you, etc., that's you and that's your thing. And we have to get to a place where we can agree to disagree, but also that we can walk together agreeing that we don't agree about that, but that doesn't mean that we don't agree about everything. And we throw people away too much without having a full perspective of them. I like to talk to people that I actually don't agree with. Because I tend to learn something.
Because you will understand why they feel this way.
They share something that I've never heard before, give me insight, and it's based off of their experiences in life. I'll say this last thing. There's a gentleman named Jonathan Alvarado, and when I was working on my master's, he shared this statement to our class. And I never lost it. I use it when I speak, preach, or whatever often. A keen and sharp mind can hold two contrasting thoughts in mind at the same time. Meaning you can be pro-Trump and anti-Biden, but hold the thought of both of them in mind at the same time. But his first words are what's key: a keen, sharp mind. So the mind that can't do that needs to be sharpened.
You should be able to have, you're right. And freedom of speech, but we're not going to go there. Well, this brings us to our question of the day. So I'm going to have you reach over here in this box down here and pull out a question.
All right.
This is where we get a little bit more personal, all right? Don't be scared. It's all right.
Now, I open this or you?
You open it.
I love it. I love it. Should I read the question or you want it?
Please.
Okay. Folks, the question is, I guess this is targeted to me.
Yes, it is.
Do I prefer foreplay or getting straight to it? The word of the Lord says that the bedroom is undefiled. The bedroom is undefiled. But one of my stations, growing up here in Atlanta, one of my favorite stations, simply probably because of the branding, is Atlanta 69.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that.
Well, I appreciate you for your feedback. Look, I'm sorry you got that question.
I love it.
I promise you.
Hey, that's a little sex education.
Yes, it was. Now we got to get up out of here. Time is running. But it was great talking to you. I'm not going to lie. Also, I know the 2-time honoree. What was those doctorates?
Honorary Doctorates in Christian Leadership.
Okay.
And also Christian Ethics and Values.
Nice. All right. Congratulations to you. Appreciate it. And songwriting. You still writing music?
Yeah, I wrote an urban inspiration song for a young man at the time. He was going by Lil I-Rock.
Okay.
And it was in the hip-hop, gospel hip-hop category with the Stellar Awards.
Okay.
Back in 2006. So that was groundbreaking. That was the first time that they had produced that category.
Yeah.
And we went in there and bust that thing out.
Bust it out. Okay. You still working in the studio right now?
Absolutely.
Okay. Can we expect the project from you?
As I release my next book, our couple of projects is the soundtrack to that book.
Okay.
Yep, so stay tuned. We're coming into our own.
We're coming into our own. I love it. I thank you so much for being here, Eddie Long Jr. I appreciate you. I thank you for reaching out. I definitely, it was an honor to sit here and speak to you.
Absolutely.
And I thank you guys for tuning in.